Good evening. Welcome to I'mPossible Conversation. I'm your host, Suki. Tonight, I'm delighted to have Michelle Jones, champion of kindness, a believer of the power of community. Welcome to I'mPossible Conversation, Michelle. What's life without hopes and giggles, eh?
Well, it'd be pretty boring. I'm a believer in the smile and I'm a believer in the giggles. It's when you're feeling low, it's that whole saying of turn that frown upside down. It has an overall effect on the way you feel, how the world is perceiving you. And as an eternal optimist, I prefer to err on the side of positivity, and always look for the hope within the situation, and look forward I'm a glass half full, not a half empty type of person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Champion of kindness.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Kindness, I think, is the human superpower. And I really do think that it is got the ability to resolve so many issues, worldwide issues, and the day-to-day challenges and struggles that we face. I think that the strength in that kindness that we've got the ability to share is unquantifiable. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, Suki, I've lost your sound.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, you're back.
It's doing live stream on Wednesday, and then kids on Netflix and play their computer games. Yeah. Oh, wow. Right. Okay, let's start our I'mPossible conversation, Michelle.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself, please.
Well, I'm Michelle Jones. First and foremost, I am a mum, a very, very lucky mum, because I've got two gorgeous children, and I'm a wife, a homemaker, and I'm a bit of a party girl. I love to dance, I love to sing, I love to eat, I love food, and I'm a business owner. I've got that entrepreneurial streak within me, so I'm always looking for obviously the best resources, the best way of doing things, and I love being in the business community networking. And one of my passions is giving back, paying kindness forward. So I am also a volunteer, and love the charity commitments that I've got. And a lot of people know that about me, and that smile and all of those things, what the outside world see. But obviously privately, there's a lot of other stuff going on as well, and one of the sorry about that. One of the major parts of who I am is managing chronic illness. And I used a phrase recently, which is the first time I'd used it, was that I am a chronic illness warrior. And actually that makes me quite emotional saying it, because anybody that has got chronic illness will know that it's like a war with your own body, and it's a pretty horrific war. And what you go through every day is this battle with yourself. So a large part of my life is taken up with managing chronic illness. And a lot of who I am now is because I've had to manage and learn to live with chronic illness. And obviously every day I'm facing that adversity, and every day I'm carving out the future that I want to have, and I want my children to have, and I want the people around me to have. So yeah, that's probably the biggest part of Michelle that people don't know about. That smile can sometimes hide a lot, a lot of pain, some quite aggressive symptoms, extreme fatigue, but if someone was talking to me just say in the schoolyard, they would never know.
Yeah, because I know you previously, and you are just this bubbly, like you described, party girl, always happy, smiling. And I would never imagine you having chronic illness.
Yeah, I've managed it for a long time. Obviously, my symptoms started as I started to go, obviously, into my teenage years, and several years it sort of built and built and built, and then in my late teens, it escalated significantly, and then I spent the first part of my 20s accepting, learning, and trying to make a life managing those chronic illnesses, because it's not just one. I've got several conditions that I have to manage. And obviously some of them have got really aggressive physical symptoms, and obviously that all plays a massive impact on my mental health. So it's balancing the physical and the mental side, that's going on as well. But yeah, it can all be hidden by that exterior that I portray to the outside world.
Yeah, because when I asked you what's your favorite quote, you told me a little bit of kindness makes the world sparkle, and you are always sparkly.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I try to be. I'm sat here dressed as an elf.
And you've been sparkling today.
Yes. Yeah, it's a little bit of kindness makes the world sparkle is my motto. And it's something I came up with, so it's my own personal quote. And it's like I said, obviously, as we opened, kindness makes the world sparkle. It really does. And I find it helps me incredibly. And when I'm suffering, it's just the most amazing experience to receive kindness. So when I'm suffering and somebody gives me a helping hand, it does me the world of good. But also, because I like to pay kindness forward, I then benefit again, because being kind to others makes you feel amazing. So it's like a win-win on all angles. No, you receive it, it's amazing. You give it, you feel amazing. And it's a powerful, powerful thing that we've got as humans to be able to share kindness.
Yeah, absolutely. So you are kindness ambassador, aren't you?
Yes.
Everywhere you go.
Yes, I would love to be the kindness ambassador.
Yeah. So let's talk about the most defining moments in your life.
Yeah, defining more. I don't think it's one singular moment. I think I've been lucky enough through my challenges, I've got to say, without the challenges that I've faced, I don't think I've experienced the monumental occasions that I have. So obviously the number one defining moment was becoming a mum. But if we roll back a few years before that to get to become a mum was going back to when I was at the very bottom. You know, when I'd let my illnesses and my symptoms win, and they did win. They won an incredible battle, and then they partied, and I was suffering a lot and not being able to live and just exist. So I was existing, and I had a day where I had a choice, and it was I either lived my life or I didn't. And I didn't want to not live it. You know, before I'd become really poorly, I was like I am, like now everybody sees, and I was very aspirational, and I didn't live with fear. And I was incredibly poorly. I was incredibly frightened. And all I was doing was breathing, basically. And on this day, I decided that actually I was going to take my life back. And I made a promise to myself that I would accept what was happening to my body. I would fight to claw my life back. Oh, sorry. Just take a moment. And I would progress to make the best life I could, managing the illnesses that obviously I have. And that day is then led me to where I am now, because I probably wouldn't be here if that hadn't happened. So that day defined the path I was taking. And then from then, I had lots of defining moments. You know, at that point, I was severely affected by agoraphobia and OCD. And I had to start to live again. It was that bad. I couldn't even have people in my own space. You know, didn't want to be a poorly person. I didn't want to be seen as a poorly person. So as a self-protection, you know, it was just hiding from the world was the best thing I could do, because I was just constantly poorly. You know, but then I went on my journey, and as I say, I got married, which I'd never thought I'd be able to walk down an aisle. You know, not being able to leave your own space, to then being able to walk down an aisle in front of all your family and friends and marry the person. So I'm going to get upset again. The person that held your hand through it all, and create a life with them, is so unbelievably precious. And then from there, we had to go on another journey to have children, because I didn't think I was going to be able to have children. You know, we'd had a conversation when I was 22 of me saying to my husband, my then boyfriend, if I can't have kids, you want kids, you know, it's fine, you can leave me, you know, like, I don't want to hold you back and stuff. Having those conversations at 22 were pretty horrific, you know, but no, it God knows why, but he's still here. He stuck with me. So we got married, and then we went on and did all we could to have two just incredible children who absolutely amaze me every day. You know, and then from then it was just a roller coaster. Like, I'd won this battle that I decided in that first defining moment of, I'm going to live a life. Like, yeah, I've got chronic illness, you know, but come on, you know. And I set up, obviously, the next defining moment was a day, and I was sat with a lady called Melissa Middleton, who works for an enterprise in Newcastle.
Yeah.
And I was setting up a child minding business. And
When was it?
this was just after I'd had my first child, my little boy. So it was in
It's about
2008.
like 10
And
years ago.
yeah, because obviously I have children and I wanted to be with, I resigned because I was like, I want to be at home with my children. I want to take them to activities, I want to be there, like to put them to bed, and I wanted to do everything because I was like,
Yeah.
I'm living a life, I've created a life, and I want to experience the whole thing because I didn't think I'd get to do it. I didn't think I'd get to do that. So I wanted to absorb it all and I wanted to be there for it all. And so I was like, I'm going to resign and I'm going to be at home, but I can't not work. I want to work. I'd been in a position where I couldn't work because of illness. And so I was like, no. So I was set chime mind. So I thought, right, there's a course, I'll go and do a course and set the business up. And then Melissa, it was asking me about my background, what I'd done before, what my dream was. And she was like, why are you doing this when you could be doing that? And I'd never thought about.
What were you doing at that time?
Previously, I'd been doing quite a lot of different things. So I had quite a varied career from leaving university. So
Right. Okay.
I had a full-time job in the personnel department, which was an amazing foundation for learning how to manage people. It was incredible because I dealt with some quite intimate and high-profile cases within that role, and it gave me an excellent foundation for my career where I am now, being a wedding planner, like leading a charity, doing all my voluntary work. But I was also, me and my husband were also property developing. So we were buying houses, doing them up and selling them on. I was also doing events, I was also doing weddings. So there was a lot going on.
Anything you didn't do?
No, it was like my new husband, I used to we'd go out to work all day and then we'd be working all night in whatever house we were doing up. And I've just dragged him along for the ride. I'm like, we're doing this now, we're doing that. And so, and Melissa was just like, you need to be doing what you want to do. So I just in that kitchen that day was like, right, I'm going to set up my own business, and I'm going to follow the event routes, but I want to do something where, because I loved working with people, and I wanted to do something where I was working hands-on with people on a personal level. So doing events were great, but the wedding element of it was the personal aspect that I loved. Sort of when you're in sort of theatre spaces, or on a big event, you've got your sort of small section of it that you're working on, and you then don't, getting to interact with people on a personal level. You don't get that experience. Whereas this wedding is totally, like, honestly, it's incredible. Like you're fully involved with people's lives. You're making their visions come a reality. You're learning about them. You're then telling their story. You're getting to celebrate love, and you're getting to unite people. So that was another defining moment. And I'd never thought about being like a business owner, like an entrepreneur. But that set me off on a new path, and because I'd done that, I'd been doing sort of various small charity and voluntary roles. And I then got this bug that bit me, and I found that I wanted to do more. So that was another defining moment, being in this position where I thought, I can make a difference. I can give my time and energy to other people because I want to, and it'll improve their life. It'll make a difference to them. So I then started doing doing all sorts of voluntary and charity roles. Obviously, in my local community, I've done quite a lot, but now I also gift my time to national charities as well. So like I've been involved with UNICEF, Gift of a Wedding, Prince's Trust, like locally, obviously with our schools, Shower Start centres. Do you know it? If there's something there that I've got a passion about, and I think I can make an impact, I would never do anything where if I didn't think I could make an impact. Then I absolutely love it. Do you know, like today was, I didn't think I'd get to put my Christmas outfits on this year because of COVID. And I've cried so much over the fact that like all the charity stuff came to a standstill, and like charities were in such a bad, at the moment in time when we really need charities, like they're struggling so much. And like for me, children are really, really important. You know, they're our future generations. You know, so we need to invest in them now. And a lot of what I do in the local community is for our younger children, like our younger generation. And so today's opportunity was brilliant, and getting to put this on and go out and do something Christmassy, and for it to be for kids. You know, it's such a nice feeling. You know, it just my well-being in the world are good. You know, but yeah, so there's been several defining moments in my life. You know, and I've got loads more to come. You know, and that excites me. And you know, and to be able to say that, it's to be able to. I've been in a point where I didn't think I would ever get a defining moment, to now be excited because I know that, oh, I'm going to get more. Do you know, there's going to be more defining moments, and it's going to push me on even further. Is good. Do you know, it's
Michelle. Yeah, the very special thing is you create them yourself.
Yeah, it is. That's what my husband says. If I start
you
saying,
don't sit at home and then wait defining moments come to you. You go out and make that happen. You create it.
Yeah, I suppose that is one of the biggest lessons from managing chronic illness. Nothing comes to you. Do you know, doctors will try to put a finger on a diagnosis. Then they will try to find a medication that helps, or do an operation, you know, or put you in contact with somebody who might be able to support you. But actually dealing with the chronic illness and the symptoms was a responsibility of mine. And that lesson I've then taken forward in everything I do. I've got a saying another saying that does my kids' head in, and my husband, because they'll start saying stuff and I'll go, opportunities don't knock at your door. You've got to go and knock on opportunities' door.
Yeah.
And it's true. It is opportunities. Sometimes they do come, but they won't happen unless you take them. Do you know? So they might be there, and if you let them pass on by, they've gone. So you've got to take them, and sometimes you've got to react quickly to take them. But 9 times out of 10, you've got to create the opportunity yourself.
Absolutely.
So, and it's having the bravery, I will say, because it is brave, because I live with fear every single day of my life. I'm absolutely petrified of my conditions and the symptoms. So every day when I'm out doing my thing, I am frightened, you know, but people can't see that. But I could either go
frightened of.
I don't like having illness. I don't like the symptoms. I'm frightened of the symptoms. So, and that's something I've had to learn to live with. You know, but like if I'm having a flare or I don't feel right, then my anxiety goes from being completely stable to through the roof. Do you know, like if I had a flare up on a plane a couple of years ago, and if somebody had have opened the door, I'd rather have jumped out of the plane door than stay on that plane. Or I especially don't like being poorly when I'm around people either. I can't cope with that. No, it's just, so I live with that fear all the time. So what I say to people is don't be frightened to take the opportunity, you know, because the fear won't go away, but the opportunity will, you know, and the opportunity can lead to so many other opportunities.
It's all kind of ripple effect, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Like kindness. Yeah, exactly the same as kindness. It just little ripple effects, you know, and it just impacts everything.
Yes. So you give a lot to others, a lot kindness and your service, and it's for you, it's all about giving. But what makes you happiest?
What makes me happiest, obviously, it's easy to say my family, but of course, of course they do. You know, honestly, the family is so important. Friends is so important. My happy moments are when I'm with my family and we're singing and dancing, and which is a huge part of like our life, and just living in the moment, you know, or when we're doing something that I think personally is quite brave, you know, and we're experiencing something new. So doing things like together as a family make me really, really, really happy. You know, and I love doing all sorts of things like cooking and baking and stuff, doing it together. I love being with people and doing things with people. You know, it just makes me so happy. When I do a wedding and I see two people committing to each other, you know, and all their family around them sharing that love, that makes me unbelievably happy. You know, when I'm doing a charity event and I see the faces of the people that it's impacting having the most amazing time, you know, or benefiting from something that's like obviously being purchased by the charity, you know, it's just incredible. I gift my wedding planning services to a national charity called Gift of a Wedding. Incredible charity. Amazing team behind it. The founder is unreal, you know, kindness on a totally different level. And
sorry, did you say gift
of a wedding? Yes.
Gift
so
of a wedding, right? Okay.
Yes, yeah. So
Tell us more.
it's a charity where couples who are facing terminal illness that aren't married apply obviously to this charity to be able to get married. And it's such an honor and a privilege, you know, to plan their wedding for them and then watch them and have this moment. It's like it's on the happiness scale like you can't even measure. You know, it's like off the scale because it's just so special and unbelievable. You know, so there's lots and lots of things that I'm very, very fortunate to experience in my life that make me happy. You know, and that's getting to do things with other people, you know, and seeing them happy. And I love feeding off happiness. It's the best thing ever, feeding off happiness, you know, positive energy and stuff. So, but yeah, there's lots of things that I just love. I'm always looking out for things that are just going to make me smile.
Yeah. So you kind of, it's very special memories. You're creating lots of special memories for others.
Yeah, it's all about the moments though, isn't it?
It is,
Like,
absolutely.
and I suppose I'm greedy for those moments. I think because, and that's
Why
just
not?
yeah. That's why I do as much as I can, so I get all these moments. But I think because I didn't have any moments, and I did not like, I didn't like it. Do you know? I was like, I never want to go back there again. No. I've created a life where I get to experience those moments. Do you know? And so I feel very lucky, very, very lucky for that. You
And you
know.
are recognized by doing those wonderful stuff as well. I remember that bench from
Yes.
school. That was
Yes.
gift for you.
Yes. It was. That was pretty unreal. I didn't expect it at all. And to the point where my knees had gone completely when it was presented to me. And it actually came at
Tell us
a
the
quite
story from the beginning. How long have you been working for that school and what's happened?
I started volunteering for the PTA when Dylan was in the nursery, so that was in 2010. And it was just little things, like taking cakes and, saying I could help at an event. And then really quickly took over chairing the charity. Then I went into school governance and specialised in supporting the work for disadvantaged children and inclusion, which are passions of mine. I was a child in school that had interventions. I'd had a hearing problem that hadn't been picked up, and really, really struggled through primary school with my education. That's probably another defining moment, because when I got to comprehensive, I was either like, I either give up on my education or I fight for it. So when I got started in the school system as a parent, I always knew that I wanted to give something back, because I didn't want children to experience what I'd experienced. I'd also experienced other things in school that I just thought, no, actually, I can make a difference. So by the time Dylan was in the school, officially, obviously, when they get to that sort of year one phase, when it's national compliance that children are in school at that point, I was chairing the PTA and I was a school governor, and it's just been unreal. It's just been
It was a blast.
a wonderful experience. I got to work with incredible people, and I got to host lots of amazing events. We doubled the size of the school. We created an ethos where we then became like one of the most sought after schools in the city. There was so much impact over that decade that I felt very lucky to be part of the process. And I just wanted to do more and more, like all the time. I absolutely loved the community. It'd been a community. It's funny because I was talking about this on the Geordie Guide to Happiness. And because the guy who presents that was actually a member of the community, so he knew me, and obviously he was saying about the impact. Obviously he felt it, and it's just been amazing. I'm devastated that COVID came along. At the point where I decided to move on. So I'm in the process of stepping down.
Yeah, the kids need to grow. Yeah, kids grown,
And
and
there's
then they
other
have to move to different.
opportunities. I've been approached to do work with disadvantaged children, but on a citywide aspect, and not so it's going to have a bigger impact. Very much specialising in in that group of children understanding they've got options and choices, and that there is a life out there that they can take.
Yeah.
So there's these other opportunities that have come on, and obviously the national stuff that I've been doing. I did work with I'mPossible, which is an international movement and stuff. So there's lots of different things that come along. So I think after a decade of committing to two areas within the community, and before that I'd been involved in the community, like with Sure Start and things, and UNICEF, the work was community based. So now I want to make a bigger impact. I want to do more. So it's looking for the opportunities, and at the moment they're coming to me. And I'm taking them. So it's allowing me to spread my wings, and make a bigger impact.
Yeah. So and then they've given a bench.
The bench, yes. So,
and I don't think that many PTA volunteers get bench named after them.
I think because of all the other stuff, obviously it wasn't just that one aspect. There was all the other the time that I was giving. And obviously the school governance is a major element of that. But I find it hard to talk about because I'm really shocked by it, and because I don't expect thanks. I don't do anything that I do to be thanked. The joy is in the doing it. The joy is witnessing people's and so to be thanked at that level, it still absolutely floors me. So obviously talking to you about it, it's like I am lost for words, because it's a bit like, oh my God, it is an incredible honor to receive something like that. And the fact that it's a friendship bench, and it wasn't a bench for me to own. I do own it, obviously, but it's in the community, and there's going to be little children on the friendship bench, with their friends, making these happy little moments, that'll go on and carve out the rest of their life, so I just think it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It was so colourful. And for it to be named a friendship bench just means the absolute world to me. It's just so special. But it was really funny. I mean, because it came along on a week that as a family, we were having a very, very difficult week. We'd just come out of the lockdown situation. And unfortunately, we'd suffered the death of my mother-in-law. So this bench was presented at such an emotional time. So I was in pieces, and obviously the people around me were all social distanced, of course, but were very emotional. And because obviously I like to hide, I didn't want to sit on this bench. So I was like, I want to run back and just be with my husband. And when I got back to my husband, he whispered in my ear, "You normally only get a bench when you're dead." Where it's just, I was like, yeah. But so that sort of broke the emotion of the situation and went to giggles. But yeah, it feels such an incredible honor that there is a bench in the community that marks the energy and the time and the commitment that I've given, and it actually makes me want to do loads more. So it's that whole thing. I was kind, so they were kind, and now I want to be more kind.
Yeah.
And that's the wave,
that's the way
kindness.
That's the way it goes. Yeah, absolutely. So let me ask, because we talked about your chronic illness, and then your given nature. You just give. It's all about community for you, and spreading kindness like confetti.
Yes.
How do you motivate yourself? How do you manage that chronic illness but still be out there doing all these things? How do you motivate yourself?
I'm really, really stubborn with myself. And it's funny, my family get really frustrated with me. Obviously, they naturally worry about me and they see me doing all this stuff. So I get told off a lot. But
By your children?
like my dad's the worst. Do you know, I'm this little girl who he knows isn't very well and he sees doing too much. But doing's my coping mechanism. And it goes back to that whole thing of I couldn't once do, and I didn't think I was ever going to get to do again. So now I don't stop doing, you know, and it's that stop button. I don't want to press the stop button. So I am really stubborn. So I can have just say a typical night in the week. I can go to bed with chronic pain and not be able to sleep because of the chronic pain. I could then fall asleep through exhaustion to then be woken up with really aggressive symptoms, which then I'm talking like labour pains, like explosive diarrhea, loss of blood, uncontrollable sweats, dizziness, you know, migraine headaches, and I can then be like that for hours. And obviously I've got processes I need to go through and medicines that I need to take. Now, if it's sort of getting to morning, kids waking up, then I need to try and pull myself together. And fortunately, I've got an understanding husband that can then support, you know, and do the school run. But that is very, very rare because I'm stubborn. And if that happens, I'm not happy because I then think that my symptoms have won. So I will get to the point where I'm like, right, okay, I can deal with this, get the kids to school. The minute I leave that door, I can feel I've a lot of pain, feel very uncomfortable, be in a total state of anxiety. And I am talking the worst type of anxiety, do you know, like the type of anxiety where you feel like you're going to drop down dead anxiety. And we cycle to school. I love cycling, absolutely love cycling. And that was one of the things that helped me massively get my life back on track. And they have no idea half the time, my kids. Like, oh, we're not feeling well, you know, and they go along with the flow, and we get to school and I'm all smiley, you know, and then it's like on to work and I'm all smiley. So today I had a symptom flare, but kids went to school, you know, they were all this morning, and I was doing my mum's thing. And then we're doing a house development, so obviously needed to be back to sort out builders and stuff. And they had no idea, you know, that I felt horrific. And then I've gone and filmed for Santa TV, which starts tonight. Do you know? And it's a free Santa event that's going to run through December. For obviously people obviously on Facebook, big community in Newcastle. So I went and filmed. Had the whole elf thing going on, you know, was on camera, full of cheer, you know, the jolliness of Christmas. And obviously then I've come back, seen to the kids after school and stuff, and I'm on here now. But nobody knows, nobody knew, you know, and that's a choice. I could have gone, I feel really, really poorly and I can't do this. And but I prefer not to do that. Don't get me wrong, there is occasions where I'm absolutely flawed, but it's stubbornness. I'm so stubbornness with myself, like stubborn with myself, and the motivation comes naturally. So the alarm goes off, I'm out of bed, or I'm like, right, this is the time. Come on, put yourself together. Like even when I'm in the throes of being really, really ill, I'm on that. Come on, you need to work through this. You need to sort of get yourself better, doing everything that I need to do so then I can function. So, but yeah, I can be stood. I've had occasions where I've been stood having a conversation with somebody who wants my help, who needs my support, and having that conversation with them whilst at the same time inside I'm absolutely dying. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrendous. And they don't know, and I would never want them to know either. And it's that motivation of not being seen as a poorly person that makes me just get on. And I want to live my life. We get one opportunity. This is not a rehearsal. This is the main show, and I'm on the West End stage here in the lead role, and I want to experience it all. So that sort of mindset is what drives me through. Oh, I mean, if I could flick a switch and I didn't have to deal with chronic illness, it would just be a miracle, and it would just be amazing. But that's not the life I'm living, and so it's just something I've got to get on with.
Oh, wow. So, right. I'm kind of speechless. Yeah. So who was the best teacher for your life that made you who you are today, or who do you look up to?
I don't necessarily look up to anybody in particular, but I meet people every day, and people come in and out of my life at different points and impact it on sometimes a level I don't even understand. So there's been various people in my life that have come into it, and without them, I wouldn't be where I am now. One of the most significant people, and a person that I absolutely adore, and I just think he's incredible, is my husband. And he's also such a giver, and just incredible. And he's got such a different way of dealing with things, and he's calmer than me because I'm up here and stuff. But it's funny, when my children came along, I think as parents, we often see ourselves as the teacher. But I think if we reflect, they're the ones doing the teaching. And I learn so much from them on a daily basis that like my outlook on things changes if I look at it from their perspective. So that there's lots of different elements in my life where I will connect with somebody and they will have an impact on me. And then there's people that I'm with all the time that are the right people to be in my life for certain things, like, have certain positivities that impact on my life. And I've had conversations, do you know when I had one really important conversation on a train, and you see these people and you have one conversation with them and then they leave your life, that was it. That moment, it was there for a reason and now it's gone. And those people are important to me, and they've left a lasting impression. So in terms of like hero, who do I look up to? It goes back to that community thing. I think a community coming together has such strength, and everybody pulling together as a community is heroic, and we all learn from each other.
Yes, I totally agree. But the person who's bringing them together is even more heroic. And that's you.
I didn't think you were going to say me then. thank you. That's a lovely thing to say. It's a lovely thing to say.
So that's been, yeah, it's like finding out about you more and more. It's just been amazing. So let me ask you a few questions just to get to know you better as a person.
Yes.
So what's the best gift you've ever given?
The best gift
Except the
I've ever
bench. Don't include the bench.
that somebody has
you've
given
been
me.
given. Yeah.
Oh, do you know, I got given a really special present, and because of COVID, I couldn't experience it. But I love elephants, and my husband had bought me because I was 40. So for my 40th present, he got me. I love zoos. I love the work, that conservation work that zoos do. So he bought me an experience with the conservation team, with obviously with the elephants at Whipsnade Zoo. And because of COVID, I then couldn't experience it.
Yeah.
No,
Very
but
soon.
yes, yeah. So that was like an amazing gift, because that was something for me. You know, normally like I'll ask for gifts that lots of people can experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but that was a gift for me. And the gift of my children, you know, that is just incredible. You know, like for me, people are the best gift. And that's like how I view it. You know, I remember the day my sister was born. Do you know, that's a really special gift, getting a sibling. Do you know, that is just like the best gift you can get, isn't it, when you're little, to get a sibling. And then obviously meeting my husband and having my children, you know, and getting beautiful friends who come into my life. You know, people are precious gifts. But in terms of like a token gift, the elephant thing, because it was something that I absolutely adore.
So cool. What's the coolest thing you've ever done?
The coolest thing I've ever done. I am the least cool person, I know. But I used to present my own TV show. I used to produce and edit a TV show when I lived in Leicester. That was pretty cool. I've done celebrity weddings that people think are cool, but aren't so cool. And stuff. But the coolest thing I've ever done was meeting Santa in Lapland with my children. It was brilliant. And if I could relive a moment over and over again, it would be that moment. It was just brilliant.
Sounds amazing. So what do you cook? Sorry, yeah. Yeah, what do you cook better than anyone?
Mexican food. Mexican food. We absolutely love Mexican food, and I love making it. You know, and I put a real sort of twist on it because I make it very rich as well. So it's very spicy and very rich. But yeah, we love it, and I love making cakes.
Oh, yummy.
And it's my husband's birthday this week, so I'll be making him a chocolate orange cake tomorrow evening.
Busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's worth it because you get to eat the cake.
What's the question you always wanted to answer, but no one is asked?
For somebody to ask me.
Yeah, but no one's asked.
Actually, it is a question that you asked me a couple of weeks ago, Suki, and it was that proudest moment question.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that has quite a big significance that when I answered it. So I suppose then, that like a few weeks ago, that would be a question. But that whole thing of, I suppose, what would you What would you like to do if you could do anything? That's a question that I hear quite a lot, you know, and obviously I know what my answer would be and stuff. But, and yeah, do you know what question I don't like people asking? Is your hair naturally curly? All
That's
the
what
time.
I've asked
Is
him.
yeah. Yeah, is that a perm? Is that a perm? I'm like, no. No, but yeah, that I've never been asked about that proudest moment question when you asked that the other week. So that was quite a good one.
Yeah, let's ask that. What's the most proudest moment, Michelle, for you?
Well, it happened this year, and it was a realization. So I didn't think I was going to be able to have children. Then I had children, and then I had a massive fear because I realized my children had to get to school. And being someone who suffers with chronic illness, I didn't think I was going to be able to get them to school. So I worried about that for 4 years. And then when my children started in school, I was like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it without any help. I'm not going to be ill, and it's not going to stop me from doing the school run. To the point where I ended up doing the school run for other people who have got loads of support around them, because we don't have any support in Newcastle. Our family live, my husband's Welsh, my family, you know, all over, and got loads of people around them. I haven't got anything going on like the chronic illness thing. And I'm always helping them out with the school run. And my children have gone through, obviously, the FES school system. So when my daughter left FES school, I had this huge realization that I'd done it. My biggest fear when I had my kids, I'd overcome it. And although I'm still cycling my daughter to school, she's going with her friends, and I'm following on my bike to make sure that like they're safe. You know, so it doesn't feel as if I'm still doing the school run, but I am. So that when that last day in first school, when we cycled into school, I cycled home. I'm going to get upset. And I come in, and I just said to my husband, I've done it. My children were never late to school. They were never late to school. And I took them all the time on my own. Some days absolutely dying with pain and illness and symptoms. It will always be my biggest achievement. Do you know, people value success in so many different ways. That getting my children to school will be the most successful thing I've ever done. You know, and it feels incredible. Do you know? And for me, it's just the biggest message to anybody facing chronic illness, anybody facing severe mental health illness. It is the biggest motivation to be able to say to people facing those things, you can do it. I've done it. And take that belief that you can do it, you know, because if somebody had said to me the day that fear instilled in me that I would get my children to school on time every single day without fail, I would never have believed them. I'd have said it wasn't possible. You know, so that is the most proudest thing I've ever achieved in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all those very, very simple and little moments.
Yes.
It's very, very special, isn't it?
Yes.
Rather than having this big career, huge success.
Yeah.
Those are never
Life,
equals.
yeah, life's not about the big. The big things are lovely. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Being able to say, "Oh, I achieved this." Do you know, like, of course, I love going. Oh, I've done so and so's wedding and things like that. Do you know, like, it's a self-esteem boost, isn't it? But it's the really small moments in life that have the biggest impact. You know, and it's appreciating those moments and celebrating them. You know, we need to do that more. We need to do it more as humans, be kind to ourselves and celebrate the little moments that we experience.
Yes. Yes, we do, Michelle. Yes. So if you had to describe yourself as an animal, for example, which one would you be?
Oh, well, I want to say elephant.
Yeah, I
Because I
thought
love
that.
them.
Yeah.
Because I love them, and I love the fact that they're a family, do you know, and they work as a community, and they all stay together, do you know, and they all protect one another, and so yeah, I'm going to say an elephant, you know, because if I was to come back as an animal, like if I was reincarnated, I'd want to come back as an elephant. Mhm.
They have that calmness.
Yes, they do. They're really calm. They understand what community and family means, you know, and they protect one another and they fight their battles, you know, and yeah, I'm probably not as calm as what an elephant is, though. I'm more monkey. I'm more monkey when it comes to, you know, the cheekiest animal you can think of, you know, but yeah, it's or a bird. Can you imagine being a bird? You know, but again, that's all graceful and yeah.
Right, okay. Oh, do you know what, Michelle? It's 8 o'clock already. Let me
Uh-huh.
ask you one more thing. Who would you like to be hero for?
I would love it if just one person seen how I've managed to create a life through what I've done, obviously managing the chronic illness, and they think into themselves that they can overcome their challenges, you know, and make the life that they want as well. You know, I'd like to think that if the younger version of me when I was really struggling with illness, there'll be lots of people out there that are going through the same thing. So if just one of those people that are experiencing what I went through and what I'm going through now, that I give them the strength to be able to fight on, you know, and create a better day for themselves tomorrow. I don't know who that person is, but I would like
I'm
to
sure there
think
are
that
many.
I would like
Yeah.
to think that I would have that impact on them. You know, but being a hero is not like something that I aspire to be. You know, I think we can put people on a pedestal and it's not fair to put them on a pedestal. But yeah, I'd
We're
like
all
to think
exactly the
that,
same.
yeah, I like to think that people would learn from what I've done to help them overcome their adversities, you know, and as somebody that they can take comfort from, you know, so that tomorrow's not as hard.
Yeah. So if anyone would like to connect with you, where they can find you.
Well, I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn.
Everywhere.
Yes, yeah. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter. You know, obviously I've got my websites as well. So it's, yeah, there's plenty of different forums. And I think on Twitter, I'm at Shell's Kind World. And on Instagram, I think it's a little bit of spark, a little bit of kindness. Makes the world sparkle.
It's all around
I
this
can't
time.
remember. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. But obviously, if you
We can
type in
add it on
Michelle,
yeah.
yeah.
We can always add in a comment. So thanks very much, Michelle.
Oh no, thank you.
Absolute
It's
pleasure to have you. And what's a life without hope, said Giggles say.
boring.
Boring. And we never want that.
No.
No. It's a big red cross.
Yes.
So let's all just have a big hope and giggle all the time, yeah?
Yes, yeah. And I'm sending giggles out to everybody at the moment because it is such a hard time, you know, and we will get through it. You know, we just need to keep that hope there and the giggles alive.
All the time.
All the time. You can cry though in your own dark space.
Don't do it by yourself. Always share.
Yes,
We are always
definitely.
there for each other.
It is. But I love a good film. Like a good film to have a sob to.
Right. Okay. It's 8:06, and thank you very
Yes.
much who has joined us. And thanks for your time, Michelle. It's been
Thank you for having me. It's
absolutely
been
amazing.
lovely.
So we'll catch up later then, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
See you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. I'm going to end.